I'll be talking to you about forgiveness, how I was able to forgive my father that committed suicide when I was 3 months old. So I wanted to share with you all that story. And I hope you find it helpful on things that, on a big forgiveness lesson and forgiveness practice that I was able to do so I can forgive my father after he committed suicide when I was 3 months old. But first, I just wanted to welcome everyone. I'm so grateful and thankful to be here. I feel that the social media and Instagram and going on, all these things are just helpful in collaboration with waking up more to our true nature, with remembering who we are in truth, to get away from that suffering and come back to peace. So today I wanted you to see this live and to walk away from it with a lot of value and also with an understanding of what true forgiveness is. The Course in Miracles teaches forgiveness in a very radical way. So if you're a course student or you're a veteran, it doesn't matter. This live is going to be all about forgiveness and what the Course is saying in regards to forgiveness. And I'll share with you a personal story on how I was able to forgive again, my father for committed suicide when I was 3 months old, and how I was able to go from fear to love. And it's something very radical. So before I begin, I just want all of you to just have in mind and think about maybe something you're holding on to, anything that's keeping your happiness and peace at arm's length is an opportunity to forgive. The Course in Miracles is actually saying you forgive people for what they didn't do. Again, the Course in Miracles is teaching that you forgive people for what they didn't do. And you're like, what? What do you mean you forgive them for what they didn't do? It's happening, right? It feels like it's happening. It feels very real. You know, they said this, they did that. This person did make their transition. What do you mean I forgive people for what they didn't do? And that's a very radical concept, but it's also a very liberating concept. It's something that is so radical, and it will liberate you and free your mind when you understand this type of forgiveness. So when I first started studying the Course in Miracles in the 90s, forgiveness was one of the hardest things for me to understand. It was just so upside down from what I had been taught, because the worldly forgiveness, you make it real. You forgive someone because they really did it. You forgive someone because it's saying that you're the better person. So that's what the world teaches us that forgiveness is. It makes things real, and it comes from guilt, and it comes from, again, making the outside very important, that you need to forgive it. Now, the Course says something very powerful. It says, only love is real, all else is an illusion. Again, only love is real, all else is an illusion. So anything that's not of love isn't real. You need to understand this statement so that you can understand forgiveness. Because what forgiveness is in the Course is looking through the lens of Christ's vision, which is something Jesus was so good at. So good at seeing the truth, seeing love in everything, and asking for guidance. So the way to begin to forgive is to begin to develop an epic, incredible, powerful connection with the Holy Spirit, with your inner wisdom. And that takes something, right? It takes willingness. Of course, the Miracle says all you need is a little bit of willingness and miracles happen. So forgiveness in the Course, what it does is you lift the veil of illusion by understanding that everything is love, or a call for love. So when someone has acted a certain way, you don't make it real by understanding that if they reacted that way, it's a call for love. Instead of seeing it as an attack and becoming defensive, it's like, oh my God, this person is insane. They forgot who they are. And this is why they're acting up. This is why they've gone cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, as I like to say. And the thing is that you've also gone cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You've been there. You've done that. So you need to begin to understand that forgiveness is a radical approach, because you are deciding to see in love. You're deciding to say, you know what? I'm not going to believe these beliefs about this person's circumstance anymore because I want to be free. Because I want to be free from the scarcity thinking. I want to be free from this crazy cuckoo mind, and I want to stop suffering because of something that happened to me when I was a child or whatever, right? So a lot of us live unhappy because we're still thinking about childhood stuff. That was me. My father committed suicide when I was 3 months old. I made it about me. I didn't know any better. And all my life, I was searching for love outside of me. Can you all relate watching this? Can you relate to convincing people to love you? That's one. Or trying to make a relationship work that's not working. Or looking for your love and happiness outside, or fearful that you're going to be abandoned. Again, that was my narrative. That was my script. And I didn't realize till I had an incredible calling from Spirit of where one day I was contemplating and so upset because I kept on looking for love outside of myself, kept on looking for love in men, like for men to love me, to complete me. I love that part in Jerry Maguire that it says, remember when Renee and Tom were at the door and there's this whole thing of you complete me. I love that scene. I love that scene because that was me. I believed that someone outside could complete me. So about over 10 years ago, I had a revelation and a mystical experience of where I was to my knees. It was that moment where I was like, I am so tired of looking for love outside of myself and feeling abandoned, trying to convince someone to love me. And what I heard from Spirit was, you need to forgive your father. And my father, I had my stepfather at the time, but I consider him my father. But Spirit was talking about my father that passed away when I was 3 months old, that committed suicide with a gunshot to his head. Not only do you need to forgive your father, you need to forgive all the men in your life. I was like, wow. Okay. So this forgiveness is different because I went on to channel this 7-day forgiveness process that in my book, Live Your Happy, if you have it, it's a 7-day fearless process. And it's a 7-step process on how to forgive, on how to truly forgive, radical forgiveness, a forgiveness that will give you the freedom that you are worthy of. And this is a practice that I had never heard of before. I had never read it in a book, but it came to me and I used it for this healing and I put it in my book. So I wanted you all to know that there is that resource in Live Your Happy. I think it's in the 7th chapter or such, because I'm going to go over the letter I wrote to my dad. But I got this download of you need to forgive your father. You need to forgive all your men in your life. So this is how the practice looked like. I would need to go back in time to all my relationships and what I made them mean. And then I would have to go to Spirit and ask Spirit, what's really real here? What's the truth? Okay. So what I did was, hi, Pamela. I'm so happy you're here. She says, Live Your Happy 9-week program of Maria is a game changer. Thank you, Pamela. Amazing. I'm going to talk to you all about the 9-week program, which I'm launching from March 24th through May 19 as a group session. So that's why I'm on here as well, because I want to share that with you all at the end. But going back to the story, my friends, I decided I was going to be uncompromising because I was so tired of looking for love outside of myself. And I was looking at, the Spirit told me, look at this relationship with your father, and I did. So this is what I made it mean. I made the relationship with my father and him leaving about me. I thought that him leaving me was a personal thing. Something was wrong with me. Something was wrong with me. Oh my God, that's hilarious. My phone went flying when I said that. You see, that's the live stuff. Oh my God, that's hilarious. The phone went flying. It's too much energy. Look, that's me when I was a little girl. All right. There we are. Are we back? Can you guys hear me and see me? That was hilarious. It just went flying, the phone. I'll make sure I put it here. All right. So, Pamela, it's hilarious. So I decided at that moment to continue to look at what I made it mean, what my dad did. So I made it mean that he's selfish. How could he? I took it personal. Something was wrong with me. He abandoned me and such. And it was a hard struggle. It was hard to feel those feelings. That's why I say, guys, have courage. Have courage to go inside. Have courage to look at that icky, dark stuff and know that you're not alone, and know that you can do it holding Spirit's hand. And also know the importance of going there, to stop brushing things under the rug, to stop not showing up fully and saying, I want to feel all of this. Because once you feel it to heal it, it starts to dissipate and it no longer has hold of you. Okay, I'm starting to get emotional. So I did that. How selfish of you. How could you leave my mother like that? How dare you? It was just all this judgment I didn't know was there. And that is what's part of this process. The 7-step process is you want to get down on paper everything, the story that you've created around that situation. The next step is you want to go inside and you want to ask Spirit what's really real here. Now this is the part. This is the real deal here. This is the work. This is what matters. Spirit told me that my father never abandoned me. That my father could never abandon me because my real father is God, and God would never abandon me. Also, my father leaving was a gift. It was for me. My father was an alcoholic. He was very jealous, and him leaving was him leaving his body and this earth so that I can be the soul I needed to be in this lifetime, because he would have hindered that. So it was coming from a loving place instead of the story that I was making about it. So you see, my friends, that's the important part to understand, is we can believe all these stories since we're little and have these grievances, and half the time they're not even true. So that's why I'm doing this live too, is just to remind you that some of the things that you have believed since you were a child, or stories that you've been making to this moment, not necessarily is it true. You could have another perception of it. You can have another narrative of it. So I had to do this with all the men in my life, and I did this with several relationships I had, including my ex-husband I was married. It's my second marriage, but my first marriage ended in divorce in 2009. I did it with that relationship. I did it with a lot of relationships of what I made it mean, and then I asked Spirit to show me what's really real here. Then it was to write a letter. So I wanted to share the letter. And for those that have the book, some of you I know have the book. It's on page 74, my letter to my father. So that goes like this. Daddy, I never told you that I love you. I'm sorry for all the pain you went through, and I trust you're in a better place. I know you're in a better place. You are my prince, my guardian angel, because in truth, I know you never left me and never will. You are an amazing spirit who was a great teacher. Your leaving your body was never about me, but somehow I decided to make it about me. I've carried this burden for so long. Whatever I have unconsciously made it mean till now is not true, and I'm ready to let go of the cross. I am willing to heal. After writing this letter, I started to receive this process that I share in my book. It's actually called the 7-Day Fearless Process. You can say, I can tell you behind the scenes that it's actually a forgiveness process. And it's actually 7 steps, all right? So in the process, you choose the problem that you need to resolve right now. You need to go back in time and make a list of everyone involved within that problem. For example, if you identified insecurity as a problem, you might list in your family or in school and in work who made you feel unworthy. So you want to see who those people are. And then over the course of 7 days, you bring to mind each person in order. And then you go to your past and you reflect on that one person. It's a huge, incredible, powerful process, just like I'm describing here. And then at the end, you're going to write a letter to that person. The most important thing is you go back in time, my friends, on what you made it mean and what Spirit is telling you is really the truth here. And then you start to have revelation and have a different narrative and perception of it. And then you write a letter to that person. So that was my story. So I wanted to just offer you this story in case you're grieving something from your past. Instead of something happened to you when you were little and you still can't get over it, or you're still holding on to, that there is hope and that there is another way. And my commitment is to be here, to be on social media through the work that I do with my community, to shine the light and to know that you're not alone and that there is another way. With that being said, on May 24th through March 24th through May 19th, I'm running the Live Your Happy 9-week program again. This program has been around for many years. Hundreds of people have taken it. It's the program that goes with my book, Live Your Happy, and it's based on the Course in Miracles. It's a 9-week journey on really understanding forgiveness, how to listen to the Holy Spirit, how to heal anything and everything from your past and in your life, and to see it with a different perspective. This is the Olympics, my friends. So if you're ready to be in a program of where you get to heal stuff that is unconscious, you get to have your life back, stop thinking about it consistently in your mind, replaying it. If you want to get to the bottom of forgiveness, understanding forgiveness at a deep level, and have a happiness that is beyond measure, to let go of suffering, this is for you. This is for you. It is. Pamela says, be prepared for radical healing. Yes, radical healing. And this is not me. This is a participant. And Pamela knows, but she did her part. That's another thing. You could come into this program, but you need to be very uncompromising and wanting to do the work. And that's what Pamela did. She was so willing to really look at it. And that's how this program is effective. So if you're willing to go there at this time, then I invite you to the program. But those that are not ready to really, really do it, that's okay. Maybe it's not the time right now. So I will be posting on this live. I'll be posting the link to the 9-week program. The 9-week program has a special offer through this Friday of 50% off on top of the launch price. So you're going to save over $300 on the program. So I encourage everyone, if you are called to do it, that now would be a great time. What's different about this program is that we're doing it in a group setting all together. And at the same time, we're on WhatsApp. So we can talk and connect about how you're doing in the program. And you'll have one-on-one mentorship with me throughout the 9 weeks. So that's the difference than just buying it evergreen. That being said, I want to just extend the biggest teaching of forgiveness. That's sometimes why people can't understand forgiveness based on the Course. Aside from you forgive people for what they didn't do, forgiveness is non-judgment, my friends. It's just that. Forgiveness is being uncompromised and saying, I want to see this. I want to be filled with wonder. I don't want to judge this anymore. I want to make this neutral. I don't want to make this about me. I don't want to be the victim of this circumstance. I want to see this through Christ's vision. I want to see this through love. That is what is forgiveness. Nothing to do with guilt. Nothing to do, I'm going to forgive you because, I'm the better person. I have Jesus and you don't. Nothing like that. What forgiveness is doing is looking beyond the fear, beyond the ego, so you can come back to your sanity and to the freedom that you're so worthy of. So I invite you to this incredible 9-week program, ACIM 9-week program. And again, all you need for the program is a notebook and a pen, and you need to get the book Live Your Happy because the program goes with the book Live Your Happy. If you have any questions, just private message me. I will have some partial scholarships available. So if you do have any money things or whatnot, I want everybody to have access to this program. So just reach out to me and my team will get back to you. All right, everyone, have a beautiful day filled with love and light. And I hope that you found this live helpful and that you can come back into your life with a new perspective filled with forgiveness, and that anything that has a hold of you from your past, if maybe a little bit of light has shined in, that's everything. Bye, everyone. Have a beautiful day.